All right, today we have a 2004 Nissan Titan. We are going to be replacing the rear window motor. The window motor is binding. I'll show you an example here. When we go to roll the window down, you can see it only goes down a little bit and then it just binds and stops. So that's a pretty good assumption, a pretty good sign that the window motor itself is going bad. If it were the regulator, the window would not likely be moving at all. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to have to do is get our door panel off. We got our new parts from Auto Parts Direct to You, or Apdty, and so we'll go ahead and get set up and we'll show you how to do this. Okay, our first step, what we're going to do is there's at least 3 bolts that are hidden on this door panel that we need to remove before the door panel will come out. It's got 2 behind this silver thing and another one behind this little panel on the behind the door handle. As far as this one, this top silver thing, all you have to do is just real carefully pry it out. It's just held in there with a couple little snaps. You want to just be real careful and go around and pry on it. And eventually it pops off. And behind there you can see are the 2 10mm screws. And then we have one more behind this panel. And there's our other 10mm screw. So we're going to go ahead and take those out. They also have Phillips head in them, so you can use a Phillips if that's easier for you. Okay. And I need a magnet or something. It's going to work that screw out of here so we don't lose it. All right, now that that's undone, our next step is going to be to pop loose the door panel. All right, so what we're going to do, I went ahead and got the screws out of the spots I showed you. Now there's actually one more hidden behind this armrest pad here. What we'll do, I'm going to see if I can. There we go. No tools at all, it's just got some snaps in there. And you can see behind there, there's one more 10mm bolt. So we're going to go ahead and pop that guy out. Okay, now at this point, we should be able to get the whole door panel off. We're going to start on one corner. I'm going to start in a inconspicuous spot. What I'm going to do basically on the other side is get my screwdriver in there and just pop it out. And you'll hear it snap. What that is the clips releasing. And we'll just go around and unclip all these clips here. It looks like I might have one more bolt hidden somewhere around here. Aha, there it is. Yeah, underneath that panel there is one more hidden bolt. That's why you want to go kind of slow and methodically as you do these things. Because if you feel resistance that doesn't feel like it should be there, you need to take a second look at what you got. All right, there we go. So now everything's been unsnapped and the door panel will come off. Now behind here, okay, so we're looking on the back of the door panel. This cable here is for the door handle. You'll see when you pull the door handle, that's what releases it. All you have to do is pull the cable away from the panel itself. You'll see this little groove here, that's what holds it in place. Once you get that disconnected, this little ball just pops right out of its housing. So we'll set that aside, and we'll do the same thing up here where the door lock mechanism is. We have a couple electrical plugs to disconnect. Ow. And then one more electrical plug at the very bottom for that light. Okay, well, or we'll just pull the whole light out. Oh, there it is. The little push pin thing was really hard to get to. Anyway, we'll just leave that dangling for now. All right, so our door panel is off. We'll just set this aside. Okay, so we got the door panel off here. And you can see this plastic shield has to come off. I'm also going to go ahead and take the speaker out just to get it out of our way. First thing I'll do is disconnect the electrical plug going to it. A little tight. There we go. And then it's got a couple more of the same exact bolts. All right, so our speaker's out of the way. Our next step is going to be to take off this plastic liner, which I'm just going to pull. It's actually coming off real simple. If this glue is sticking on you, you can take a razor blade and just kind of swipe down along the glue. But this one's actually coming off nice and easy. It looks like it's been off in the past, that's probably why. All right, so now we're inside the door panel. This wire right here is for the motor that we're going to be replacing. I'm going to, on this little plastic thing, it's got a couple little tabs that you can push in and pop that in. Move this cable so you can see. I'll show you that again. You just push in on these little tabs on either side of it, and then the connector just pushes in. And at the same time, we'll take out the connector up top here. This one. There we go. All right, so now our motor is unplugged. What we have to do to get to the motor is take out the window regulator. I think, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it would be easiest to go ahead and take out the whole regulator assembly. Okay, so we're back. You might notice that we are now on the other side, on the passenger side, when we were on the driver's side just a minute ago. Reason for that, turns out the driver's side was actually the regulator that was bad. So we're going to have to contact the customer and make sure he wants to go ahead and replace the whole regulator on the driver's side. This side, the motor is definitely the problem. I went ahead and took the door panel off. It's the same exact method as the driver's side. So we're right back up to where we were over there. Now the motor, we were able to get it working by banging on it, and that's pretty common when they start to fail. What I'm going to do now is bring the window down just enough so that you have access to the window. Within these holes here, there's two 10mm bolts that we can take out, and then we can slide our window up, and we'll be able to take the window regulator out from there. Now we should be able to pull the window up and away from the regulator, and we're going to prop it up. You can either prop it or tape it, or you just want to make sure the window is held up securely. All right, so that should hold it up while we're working. Now, just like on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the window motor. Okay, so our window motor's loose. What we're going to do now is disconnect the 3 bolts that hold the window regulator to the door. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and pop our window regulator out. All right, here's our window regulator. It's not broken, it is kind of just old and crusty, so might see, it's still okay. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and replace the motor now. Once you get the regulator out, the motor replacement itself is easy. So let me get our tools for that, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we have our new window motor that we got from Auto Parts Direct to You. Before we take the old one off, you can see, just line it up, everything looks the same configuration and everything. So what we'll do is just go ahead, and this has 3 8mm bolts that hold the motor to the regulator. Okay, once you get these bolts off, you want to be real careful in this next step, because you can cause yourself a lot of headache. You want to make sure that the window motor does not pull the regulator spool out with it when you go to take it out. So I'm going to real carefully, and yep, I can see it starting to pull it out. So you're not going to be able to really see it, but I'll explain it here in just a second. You'll be able to see it as soon as I get this thing apart. Okay, there's our problem. Yeah, it's rusty. All right, what I had to do, and you can see in here, if you pull this apart, if you just straight tug on it and pull it apart, you're going to pull this spool out. If that happens, all the wire, all the cable that brings the regulator up and down is going to come uncoiled, which is a nightmare to put back together. So what I was doing here, and usually you won't have this problem, but this truck must have been exposed to a lot of salt air because it's got some rust in here. We are on the beach, so that's probably why. The this I don't know what you call that little nub thing has rusted, and it was kind of seized on this. So what I did was just pry back and forth on this spool as I real lightly pulled out on the regulator assembly, and it finally separated. So you just want to be real careful when doing that. I'm going to spray some lubricant on this assembly here and get it cleaned up. All right, we've got our window regulator assembly all lubed up. I've got all the rust cleaned up. I went ahead and put some anti-seize lubricant along the rails here, and lubricated the cables and everything so it all moves nice and freely now. We're going to go ahead and take our new window regulator, or window motor, and line it up. Well, hopefully line it up. Let's see. It'll only go on one way. There we go. You'll get all, to make sure it's lined up right, you'll get all the bolts, all the bolt holes lined up with all three. So once you have that, we'll go ahead and put our three 8mm bolts back in place. These are self-tapping bolt screws that go right into the plastic. So they'll straighten themselves out as you go in. All right, so we have our motor attached to the regulator. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick test on it now. I'm going to plug it in. Just make sure it works. There we go. All right, so it works just like it should. This part is what attaches to the glass and brings the glass up and down. So we'll go ahead and bolt the regulator back in place now. Okay, our new motor includes a new plastic clip, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull this old one out of here. Wow, that thing's tight. Okay. There. That snaps back on like that. That plugs in there. For some reason I can't get this thing to line up. There we go. And that snaps through there. Now we should be able to slide our elevator down so that we can get to our bolt holes. And at this point, we're going to carefully lower the glass back down onto our window regulator, or not. goes. Okay, we'll line those up and put our bolts in for the glass. All right, so turns out our battery is about dead on the truck, but so we need to charge up the battery on it. But it's still got enough you can see it's working. It's just moving a little slow because of the weak battery. But you can see it does move correctly up and down, which of course was our goal the whole time. All right, so what we'll do, we'll go ahead and get this thing back together. To start, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my window switch again. And turn the truck off. Still recording? All right. Okay, so we're going to start by putting our plastic shield back up. Let's see. First, we just feed all our wires through that need to come through the holes. Okay. Then I'm lining up these holes here so you can kind of see where it all goes. Just going to work around and re-glue. Well, just kind of press it on, it'll re-glue itself basically. And then just keep going around. Okay, we're going to put our speaker back on. All right, so we got our speaker on. Next, we got to go ahead and stick our door panel on. I'll show you how to reconnect these cables on the inside of the door. Again, all of this coming apart was identical to the driver's side that we already showed you. But putting them back on can be kind of tricky, so I want to show you that. All right, I went ahead and snapped this light housing back in place, and we're just going to plug the wire in first. And then I'll show you those cables. Actually, I'll probably do the cables last. Let's see. Anyway, this thing plugs in. Just like that. And then we're going to connect this brown wire up here. And we lost one of our clips. I'll get that in a second. Oh yeah, and our window switch snaps back in place. And the plug goes into the window switch. Come on. Nope, not that. It's the orange thing by your feet over there. Thank you. And then we lost one of these, which that goes back in there. All right. So now everything's reconnected except for our cables for the door. All right, first we're going to get our lock cable on. What that does, that just snaps onto there and then like so. As for our door latch cable, what you do is line up this little ball with that hole, and then that snaps back. To its housing somewhere around here if I could find it. Like that. All right. So now we go ahead and line up our door panel, and we'll snap it back in place. So here everything's looking lined up. So what we do is just go around and you hit it, and you get those plastic snap pieces will all snap back in place, and then the bolts will be the final holding part. So we'll go ahead and put our bolts back in. Let's see. Yep. All right, so next we do our trim piece here behind this door handle. Lastly, we'll just snap these trim pieces back on. This little box one just snaps right in place here. Well, it's supposed to. There we go. And lastly is the armrest, which goes back on just like it came off with some force. So, all right, so that should do it. We'll go ahead and test our window one more time. Hopefully the battery has enough life left in it. I'm not going to go all the way just because of the dead battery, but all right, so you can see it working. That is how you replace the window motor in a 2004 Nissan Titan. That's the rear window motor. We also have a video on the front window motor if you're looking for that. Just check our other videos there. But yeah, thank you for watching. Remember, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/apdty. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. We're always trying to make new videos for you. And thank you for watching.